And a great big hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic with Comic Auzi, where we talk about pretty much, you know, animated content and animated content only. Tonight, C. Williams, hello C. Williams, Blue Heart, Squatala, and Scribe so far have joined us tonight, as you can clearly see by the... Shit. I was gonna say, as you can clearly see by the chat over there in the corner, but I didn't put the chat over there in the corner. Let me fix that. Now, tonight we're going to be watching a delightful Disney classic known as Cinderella. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of us are familiar with Cinderella, particulars to the Disney movie, of course, as well. But, what the hell? The chat disappeared. Oh, no! Okay, here we are. Alright, well, anyway, point is that, Cinderella is as old a story as people would recognize from many different circles. Maybe I had a storybook version. I had a cardboard book of it, as well as the Disney movie, growing up. Thank you, Scribe, for the comedic one. But we all know how it traditionally goes. So I don't think there's any point in summarizing it. Only to say that everybody should grab their copy of Cinderella. You can catch it on Disney Plus, or you could have a DVD or VHS copy. My home media copy features the 90s, the 80s and 90s Disney logo, so you'll have to try to match up your footage with the credits after that point. But that is what the footage on screen is for. The blurry footage you will be able to see, but you'll only be able to hear and watch along the movie if you have a copy yourself. So go ahead and grab that. We'll go ahead and begin right away in a big old 3, a 2, a 1, and a go. Walt Disney presents Cinderella, from the original classic by Charles Perrault. Well, I guess you can track this version. Indeed, you have to have a copy of the movie yourself, and you can match up the colors of your copy with the colors on screen here. That's kind of how it's working out. Oh, the iWorks again. It's like Ub is back. How many people you got on story here? Layout artists. Mary Blair and Claude Coates. Yes. Dick Anthony. Milk Call. Frank Thomas. Ollie Johnston. Mark Davis. Wait. Mark Davis. Shit. Fred Moore is a character designer. There's a name I recognize. Now I forgot the name. Mark Davis. He created the Country Bear Jamboree, right? Mark Davis. Yeah, he did. He created the Country Bear Jamboree, essentially. He created the characters and the plot. Oh, awesome. So upon a time in a far away land. I'm noticing that the screen is all white right now. Okay. Beautiful castle. Also, just... Okay, who had to have done this storybook arc? It's very pretty. A very distinct aesthetic as well from what you see in the rest of the movie. Speaking of which, there we are. Just a brief single drawing of the father. Ew, she's scratching her nose. Oh. Seriously. Well, bitches. Yeah. As gentle and kind as someone in this kind of scenario could possibly be, you can imagine. Isn't that interesting in regarding the feminist take on these particular movies? Especially when you can analyze them in reference to their time period and their, like, especially in the framework of their time period, pretty fucking feminist. By today's standards, may be lacking in certain areas. It's like part of the... It isn't so much that whole independent woman don't need no man stuff that you kind of see, like, finding a man's part of the dream in a sense. Also, freaking compare this animation of Cinderella to Snow White. You can tell immediately there is no rotoscoping going on. Like, I'm looking at the way that she's drawn, and it's like, you can tell that there's specific choices being made in the positioning of her movements. Like, she's obviously referenced from a real-life actor, but not in the same way as Snow White, where they traced over footage. That bird always looked particularly cute with the dot eyes from this, like, distance version that they animate him in. Little mousy. Poor man's got a knot in his tail. Also, the reaction shot's really great. You're gonna find that the mice are pretty much the leaders of the most of this, or at least a good section of this picture. Yeah. You know, I want to point out a fact here. Her house is on the complete opposite end of the kingdom from the castle, and yet the castle bell is still waking her up. That's insane. That is a loud bell. Gotta imagine what poor saps of a peasantry living closer to the castle. Oh, the grace of listening closer to the castle, and then that bell's like... You know, I can't feel entirely bad for Cinderella's situation when she has her own servants. You want to point that out? Like, the fact that the animals here are basically like her own indentured servitude. Like, does it, I mean, like, their kindness is one thing, but they're literally doing everything for her right this moment. They're getting her ready for the day. It's just, I don't know, man. Seems a little, like, it was like, of course Cinderella's gonna be able to take the whole indentured servitude thing in stride when she also has that. Why doesn't nobody ever talk about that fact? There's a dress like a lot of them have the hair tie up thing going on, which Cinderella also wears, like, eventually. She'll put that on in a minute. Jack, I'm pretty sure his name is Jacques. You know, for a mouse, his diction is pretty decent. I mean, I guess to put into perspective, the story is so simple on the surface that but like thinking about it, it's like the story is fiendishly simple, so they felt like they needed to pad out the runtime with these goofy little guys. Good lord, he's naked. Anyway. Yep. This is a lot of what we get for a little bit of the... We get a lot with those mice. A lot more than we probably should. But I mean, they are the dwarfs in this story, really. Like in the same way that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs had the dwarfs to help pad out parts of the runtime by giving them funny little things to do. The mice get to pad out the runtime. But even more so than the dwarfs themselves, they actually serve a lot more to the plot than just being goofy. I mean, initially we get that. Like, in this first scene, we just kind of get an establishment of normalcy. And this fucking cat. There's some shit she just does not put up with. It's like, this cat is one of those things. This cat, regular bitch. It's like, you also find that she's only willing to talk back against Lucifer initially. Like, their aunt little cat, like, she's the only one, like, he's the only one she can talk back to, mostly because of the fact that, well, he can't talk back. And also you got Bruno here. Uh-huh. I love this moment. Cat's being pretty smug about it right now. God. I love this. They really did just go to town having fun. Oof. That devil cat. Is that your philosophy too? And giving her a lot of credit here, she at the very least willing to talk back to the cat. She tries to practice what she preaches, not gonna lie. She does try to go the kindness to everyone route, but like, doesn't always work. And here's... We're just going through the morning routine. Just tiger tails. Poor sap. Love this. The just those faces he's pulling. The little man. You do have to wonder if they spent a lot of their time just animating shit with the mice just to meet some kind of deadline, or also because their designs were so simple that anybody could just go and animate something. Up, cork it. Love the wind up here. Hop to it. His whole dish was turned over. Certainly seems like it, doesn't it? Better watch yourself, Gussie. Again, someone is seriously having fun here. You know, there's also the fact that Cinderella could just make it so much easier for them by bringing food to them upstairs. And she doesn't. Oh boy. Oh boy. This cat. This freaking cat. He doesn't give a shit. Sees a little mouse? Oh boy. And... oh boy. And... yep. I don't even think this is why the movie succeeded. I mean, it's certainly... you better be careful about what you assume there, pal. God. His eyes are always narrowed like he's got this terrible mask on. Gives him this terrible evil glare. Green and yellow eyes. I love that. Ah! Just waving his... patient little bugger, isn't he? He'll wait. That's... I love his eyes just actually going nice and kindly round shape when he's actually nervous. Like, whoa, where'd it go? Such a little thing. Uh-oh. Slinking up the stairs is so beautiful. Sneaky son of a bitch. Sometimes foreshadowing is fairly obvious. How nice and efficient is it? How nice and efficient is it? Like, just to have, like, just have the cat by himself out in the hall, and then have the dialogue from out of frame. All you have to worry about is animating a silly little cat. And just seeing reasons for efficiency. And there she goes. And this cat gets some of the best poses and facial expressions. I did what? Nothing. And then you get the cat's paw painted out of the background, really nicely rendered. The eyes just boom. He's very pleased with himself. Nosy Nellies. God. The atmosphere right here. It's dreadful. Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to clean. Look at how delicately she's... Is that what you think, huh? energy. Again, we're really putting energy into this cat animation. Mm-hmm. Stopping there? He had to get it. Now he's taking a side with our other comedy characters. The king and his right hand. I love how beautiful it is just to have a character wearing all black in an animated film. Who exactly was it? Who fucking... You're the one commissioning even bigger pictures of him. It's super... I love that as well. It's just the grandiosity of those portraits. Happen to be there. I love that. I love their dynamic. I love this stout little man just having this just energy, and then this lanky young guy. Yeah, give him some credit. He managed to get this together in one day. One day. And also Cinderella too. We all gotta point out that fact. This all came together in one day. Just great timing. They're clearly using some synthetic organ music instead of a actual flute because they want it to sound gross. Kind of cute. Here's a song that everybody forgets is in the movie, but nobody forgets about the visual from the song. This is a pretty visual as well, because like the reflections and the bubbles. It's one of those Disneyisms. We've seen it so far now in like at least like the Three Caballeros. And we've seen this kind of let's duplicate the visuals and reflect them in different reflective surfaces and just play it over itself. Also, is this the actress harmonizing with herself, or is this actually 3 women singing, or 4 now? Like 5? How many voices are in this? They're singing very well, though. And God, those bubbles are pretty. I just want to pop them. They're so pretty. They're well rendered. God. If you didn't really... If you didn't hate that cat yet, you're gonna hate him now. Oh, she's ready to beat that cat. Also, I love this little guy. He doesn't talk a lot, but I like his design. The short little guy is bucktooth. And his little white wig. She'll be snide behind their backs, but you know. It's a good thing that Jacques is finally showing Gus, you know, around the house. Self-control indeed. They love that sound effect. I feel like that sound effect comes up in a later movie, that piano going sound effect. Love their energy. Also, you can probably point out the reason that they have the designs they do, the ugly stepsisters, is because the goofy faces make it easier for more animators to animate it. Because the skill involved in animating characters as realistically styled as Cinderella and Lady Tremaine is not a skill that all of the animators had attuned themselves to. Very few animators had accustomed themselves to drawing this style of character. And also why the fairy godmother also has a silly old woman face. I mean, she found her wiggle room. She found her wiggle room right there. And then if she found her wiggle room and then the stepmother throws it right back in her face. She's so fucking evil. Indeed. Just the first one she stumbles on. And then you'll what? What do you think they want? They won't shut up, will they? You gotta love that not only are they really animating these mice for a lot of fun, but they're also animating this really drapery clothing on them that makes them really fun to bounce around and run all over the place. It's like, it's great. Nope, probably not. I think it's really sweet that they decide to do this for her. And here come the birds. Come on, birds. You've already done... You know, we at least get some context for what they do, what she does for the mice. And I guess she does feed the birds. Yeah, come on! Sewing is a woman's chore! Now running errands, on the other hand. You go get the damn groceries. It's like we see what Cinderella does for the mice. Like, she gets them out of traps, At the minimum, she does for the birds is she feeds them, and then they're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a shower in the morning. Up in here. God. Sash. Hey. Spoiled, rotten brats. They have as much as they could possibly have. Accidental trans flag in their last background shot with the white wall, the floor looking kind of pink, and then the rug here being blue. You could actually probably call this whole movie Accidental Trans Flag. Grab it, grab it, grab it. Yeah. You ain't slick. Yep. Never remembered him getting square face in a minute. Like. Just love that dumbfounded look on his face. Like, huh? Quiet down, you dunce. Well, there you go. Mm-hmm. Just keep ruining. Wait, no, Jacques, no, wait, don't ruin those buttons. You're just gonna give Cinderella more work to do. Jacques, no. God. Just because you're organizing them doesn't make it better. Tricky cat. I had to just get was angry enough, I suppose. You got it. Just pour through the cloth. Oh, shit. You really feel the momentum, too. Right? Don't look. It's a surprise party. Love the little bounce on his nose. There's a lot of animations in this that I've always really loved. Yeah, I was thinking, because, like, it's just the same woman, just have her, if she's a good singer, just have her sing all the parts. You're gonna have to start using your own tail at some point, Jacques. That cat. Evil does not wear a bonnet. Evil wears whatever the fuck it wants. No. Jeez. Watch the tail. This man putting himself at great risk being in there. She just knows what an inch is. Oh, it's the length of my whole arm. That's an inch. You gotta admire their ingenuity as well. Like, not just having the birds helping out, but also just what they do without the assistance of the birds. It's just... like, they rigged all these pulley systems, like using like spools of thread and and the thread itself and the shoes. They're so fiendishly clever. Oh, and here it is. How does that affect? Well, the coach has arrived. The only coach they can afford. It's so pitiful. God. Never let them forget that they depleted their funds, I guess. So you can see the coach is coming from the castle, and it's like, well, that's a short carriage. Yeah, that carriage. Could you just love the way she turns her head? She's like, ah, yes. Everything had occurred to plan. Did her shirt turn green? I feel like, yeah, it's just, that's not the right color. Like, I think we're gonna see it in the light again. That shirt is not supposed to be green. They colored it wrong. Her birthday's not till next month. Yeah, see, it's like it's a blue. It's like a powder blue dress. I mean, shirt. It's actually kind of ice blue. Kind of blue-gray. Anyway, nevertheless. If you think just fitting 3 women into the carriage is a challenge, fit 1 woman and then 2 bustles into the carriage. And yes, Cinderella's not wearing a bustle, but those 2 bustles alone would have a hard time fitting in that carriage. Aren't they just gobsmacked? She's pretty happy. Oh god, the nervousness on her face. Oh god, the music is... The music. It was inducing the same anxiety as, like, Sonic's drowning music. Oh god. God. Oof. God. Just a fucking nightmare. And the way that the way that Lady Tremaine stands behind her bratty daughters as an excuse. She barely even cares about her daughters. It's like she used her daughters' petty brattiness and jealousy against, you know, Cinderella, because she's not really a part of the family. Because she's just my stepdaughter. I don't care about her. She's basically an indentured servant. It's like, God fucking... just fucking brutal. It's cruel and unusual, and it's making me tear up. Let that be a dream is a wish your heart makes right here. Just being the song that ties the movie together. That as bad as things can get, things can get better. And you know what? She's kept her spirits high enough for long enough that she really needs a moment. Also, yeah, welcome, Fizzy. What a sweetheart. Yep. She's such a sweetheart. I love her so much. And also, she's got the same vibe as, like, Jacques, because she's got nice big flowy clothes here. Also, love her. Just her energy. Love her little hood. The little hood on her cape kind of like a little pointy wizard hat. I love it. It's just perfect. And it gives her a great silhouette. Simple magic. She's magical. Up. Pulled that one out of left field there. Sometimes you just gotta jumpstart. Also, there's a reason this song is stuck around, because this song is catchy as fuck. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Love the pumpkin on the vines walking, tumbling over like an acrobat. Woo. Woo. Also, we saw this. We saw the vines growing thing, like when we saw Mickey and the Beanstalk. That. A lot of fun. And then just the way we... Really, this, I think, is one of the places where Cuphead took its influence from Transformations, because the way it seamlessly crosses colors and you barely notice the change happening. It's just so perfect. I mean, obviously, Fleischer Studios did Betty Boop in Cinderella, so that means they also did these transformation things. But I think the color fading, specifically, they picked up from, like, this example. Very seamless. It's just like a snap to the horse's eyes. It's gotta love how well drawn those horses are, too. You gotta admire a very well drawn horse. No. Kitty. Shoo, kitty, shoo. Oh, you actually feel bad for that rat cat? I love this. 'Cause one thing you get is that in the original tale, and even in the Betty Boop version, you use lizards to make the coach driver and the footman, but since we have these characters of the horse, not named, but still established, and then we have Bruno, we have them established. Aw, he's adorable little man. Love how absent-minded she is. I hope he didn't get trampled. God, horses are pretty giant, pretty big monsters. And let's understand ourselves, the dress is not blue, despite what most, you know, of the theme parks and merchandise would have you believe. The dress is white. It's slightly blue, like very, 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 very pale blue, but it is mostly white. Like, it is, like, ice-colored. And not like Elsa ice-colored, but I mean, like, stark white. Like, you better not have any mustard near this dress. And it's so beautiful, God. Again, the transformation is so elegant and beautiful. Definitely a reason... Oh, silver, yeah, definitely silver would definitely be correct. Squad! That's not the... Not that dress, that's not the dress we're talking about. Also, simple black choker is also a really great element to her design. Dance, be gay, now off you go, you're on your way. Bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi bobbidi boo. And then, God, you know, we watched, of course, the Ichabod and Mr. Toad. They did horses a lot better, but I'm also recalling the way they did horses in Melody Time. They're doing horses a lot better here. Like, as far as making an elegant horse, I think they're doing horses a lot better here. They're definitely drawing them and animating them a lot better. Seriously, that Melody Time animation was fucked up. Here we go. Yep. He feels like he's at a bachelorette auction with absolutely nobody he wants. I love the fat folds of the Duke's neck. I flipped up my headphones. I love the way they just scrunch into that high collar. It's great. He's so bored. Love that. I love his motions. The king is so big. I'll give the He's like, I love the way they're all staring at her. What is their beef? It's like, she's late. She didn't even have an escort. Basically rolling his eyes. That easy, huh? You gotta love the, just, like, expect this more of anime, but like the way that the whites of his eyes are only eyelashed from the top, and it creates this nice white space at the bottom of his eyes that leave them open, like for as small as they are, leave them open for the pupils to move around. Gotta love, it's so brilliantly funny, just the way they have him cockily explain exactly what's happening while not realizing it's actually happening. Dude, it's almost, the king almost dies before he gets grandchildren to see. God, poor bastard. Feels so bad for him. Oh, that's right, we get the dream later. And this animation would get recycled. Ah, shit. Mm-hmm. God. He's just so happy. And then he dances with the guy. He's like, yes, good, very good, Josiah. God. Oh, it'd be recycled in Sleeping Beauty, but it would also be recycled in Beauty and the Beast. But both those movies, we're not there yet. Sure you haven't. Give some credit here. Like, when she passed right up next to the crowd, Lady Tremaine was like, wait, I recognize this woman from somewhere, I think. Nah, she's too pretty. It's like, it couldn't be. No. So this is love. Actually, I think this is where misconceptions about the dress being blue as opposed to being white or silver come from, because in this lighting in the moonlight and they're outdoors, you're all aglow indeed. You're all aglow in blue filtered light of outdoor nighttime. And everybody thought your dress was blue for the longest time because of it. That's not bad, though. She does look good in blue. It goes along with her eyes. You know, you gotta give some... I gotta feel sorry for the prince in this movie, because he really doesn't have enough time to be. You know, comparing to the prince from Snow White, at least that guy got his own song and his beautiful voice. And yeah, that really was it. At least this prince gets a little more. I mean, you know what? This is the same prince. Honestly, this is just the same guy, basically. I mean, obviously it's not, but it's like, as far as characterization, and there it is. There's the dress being painted very blue. I love this so much. This is how it goes. She's off to the races. Of course he's tired. Wait a minute. Ah, crap. Not again. Of all the most inopportune times, too. I love that guy's speaking Spanish. He's like, I'm sorry, do you not speak English? He's trying to get her attention as best he can. Whoop! Also, on the topic of horses, these guys look like the Headless Horsemen. Their horses are all black with red glowing eyes, and they got the capes and everything. God, it's kind of scary. Ah, there they go. Like a glove. Hey, no one ever said they fit well. No one ever did. Ah, there they are. Stop it, fellas. You might want to hightail it. God, you know, I gotta wonder, how much longer did she have to walk home? Oh wait, she didn't have to walk home, I just realized. Yeah. God. This is what they call poetic irony right here. It's just like, oh, a case of mistaken identity. I mean, one thing you'll also notice is that the fairy godmother never transformed her shoes. And she never said she did. She never showed that she did. The shoes were basically completely and entirely a gift. Didn't disappear with the... Ah, yes. Poor guy. Holding his neck. What is it with people looking through keyholes? I mean, were keyholes really, once upon a time, actually so big? Aww. Yeah. He's very pleased. Of course. Uh-huh. Oh. He went pink in the face. He went fucking magenta. Freaking purple. Ooh. You were right down the middle. What? Love the parachute thing. There's a classic yell. Came from an earlier cartoon, Goofy How to Ski. That bed is impossibly bouncy. Well, now he's a knight. I mean, he was already of noble rank, right? He was like a right hand to the king. People often call him the Duke. And I think that's kind of his name in, like, wikis and merchandise. Now he's a knight, so... like, she's crazier than usual. It's like even the mice have taken notice of it. They got such nice little hidden areas they can slurp around to. Yeah, but something else we didn't fully address as well is the complete likelihood this shoe is fucking magic. At the very least, in this instance, we can make a pretty good case for the shoe being magical, especially since it's constantly sparkling. It's animated to be sparkling the whole time. The fairy godmother has rigged it so that only Cinderella will be the one who fits the shoe. Oh, see, they call him the Duke. So, I knew he was called the Duke somewhere. The way she says, clean that up. I love that! They just don't give a shit! Is that the same voice actress? Shut your damn mouth! I love her eyes. The animation on her eyes in these scenes are so great. Just her nasty green eyes. They're just insane. Just Cinderella has completely checked out of the building. I love that. I love that face. You probably just put a blunt in her mouth and just pink up her eyes. Really? Huh. They're talking over each other in unison. God! That is such good use of color. You just keep her eyes nice and out. God. That's a woman on a mission. An evil mission, but she is on a mission. Yeah, she's fucking... she's not fucking around anymore. Get in there. Get in the hole. Up they go. Oh, boy. Just, oof. Yeah, she knew. She knew very well. When Cinderella's given this fanciful idea of everything going on, she's like, she's too cool and collected. And it's like, I thought I saw that face at the ball last night. You really get that impression from everything going on right now. Also, the memes from this image are also really great. That face was strikingly similar to the one they animated in Snow White when she was scared of the trees, you know. If nothing else, I think the same animator probably drew this shot in particular. I mean, they had to have at least like a few animators who stuck around since Snow White. I mean, not too surprising. They're making that stepmother look as evil as possible, and this poor man has been all over the kingdom with no sleep. And here it is. Aside from making the dress, they're off on a mission to get the key. The fucking hair tendrils just flopping around. Don't fail her. I think that's the last line that the page gets. Yeah, to point out the Duke is tired, but even he's like, yeah, this is just, you know, pointless endeavor. But if I don't do it, the king will kill me. He's happy to be there. Well, now they're gonna just fight each other. Shut up, Gus. Whoop! I love the way he's stretched. He's just like, it's like a fucking... Love that. So friggin' tired. Just... It's right there. love that X-ray vision bit. I think that's set like a standard for animation for a while, and how you would do X-ray vision in like a. Then again, I think that might have been done in a Mickey Mouse cartoon before this, or you know, at least one of those. Grab it. Whoa. This smug bitch. Love the sound effects that are used in this bit here. Ooh. Yeah, I felt that. That hurt. Whoa. And the page is on it. Oh god. Fucking hell. They made that very tense. God. Aww. I mean... Oh god. Gus! Gus! Up we go. notice they don't even try for the secret passage because there's probably too much of a risk of them dropping that damn key, like right here. And also, like, not being able to fit it through the secret passage, for one. That key is, like, twice the size of both of them put together. They got a fucking Laurel and Hardy this shit. They got a Buster Keaton this shit. They got a Charlie Chaplin this shit. Look at these poor bastards. His head didn't even hit those piano keys. That's just a player piano. Or a ghost. You decide. Well, at least the key fit under the door. Oh, God. And Gus is now just questioning, why don't we just use the secret passage? It's not that many more stairs, is it? It's probably like 3 times as many as in the front hall. Up they go. Just when you think it's going swell. At this point, the mice have also headed up to here with the cat. What? Little round eyes. Love it. It's just in shock and surprise. Ah, great. They're both under there. To arms, men! To arms! Boink, doink, doink. What is the utility of a fork being able to flip up like that? Is it just for dramatic moments where you just need to... God. And here come the birds. The fact that nobody hears this shit. You're free, Gus! Wait, the key, Gus! Shit, Gus. She's desperate. Give her some credit, she's desperate. Bruno, she wouldn't ask this of you normally because she would really like you guys to get along, but at this point, it's a lost cause. We gotta get her out of there. How do they do that? The horse whinnying noises. I know how I do it. I go, "Arr, arr," but you know, I had to learn that after a while. And all your bones are cracked. Nope. Love the toe. Love the fucking toe. Nice. God. If I wasn't awake before, I certainly am now. Come on, Bruno, you got this. Yeah, the birds are gonna have to airlift him. Doggy? Doggy? Fuck you, kitty. Maybe the family can finally save some money by not having to buy cat food. Goodbye. Cat. Come on, you silly man! Let go of the key! We're free! I hope. He really just doesn't want to put up with this. You can hear the desperation in her voice, and you can see the recognition in his eye. It's like, oh, that is her. Step aside. It's the king over you. As if she couldn't get any worse. Fuck. Oh, I love this. Oh, God. The shaking. I love that. I love jitters like that when they just go on the animation frames. Bum bum. I love that zoom out. They really gave that feeling of like, oh shit. Surprise motherfucker indeed. Those bells. Once Cinderella hated them, and now they're her wedding bells. You know, that's some poetry right there. And God fucking damn it. Third time's the charm, am I right? Just fucking stupid shoe. Something I never really connect is that rice is just so big compared to mice, so that's rice that they're holding, so... Oh, and he gets to lead the carriage. That's so sweet. Ain't that sweet? Dreams that you wish will come true. And there we go. Blue, pink, and white. The whole page. Cinderella. Ta-da! Beautiful movie! Goddamn, like, just such a beautiful movie. It's simple, it's sweet, the mice are a lot of fun. Again, this is just a lot of quality jokes that the animators are just shoving in there because they can, and they have the time to do it because what else do they have? The rest of the fairy tale? That's just the back half of the movie. The front half, we can just front load with a bunch of mice shenanigans while we also, you know, show Cinderella in her day-to-day. But her doing chores would otherwise be boring. You know, so let's show the mice doing something silly while she does her chores. That's kind of the mentality. And it's not a bad angle. I think it's just that it gets put to the side when Disney decides to make their stories more complicated. Like when they go further along and actually decide to do more with this whole... When they decide to do more with this whole movie thing, when they decide to actually make full-on stories that fit the runtime, you see less diversions and a few comedic scenes, but ultimately everything has its utility in the plot, even in turn, and the story as well. Like there's more like Cinderella's feeding the animals, so because that's boring, we have to divert ourselves to the mice picking up their own food. Whereas in The Little Mermaid, when we'll get to it, she's going to the ship to show us how interested she is in human things. And then she goes up to Scuttle to have the things explained to her. It gives us a day-to-day from Ariel's perspective without distracting from what Ariel is doing. The comedy characters are a part of Ariel's scenes as opposed to a distraction from them. So, and I feel like that's a big step forward that they would eventually take. You know, but sadly that was a step that eventually was taken after Walt Disney was no longer with the studio. But again, we're not there yet. By the time we get to the end of the Silver Age, it'll sadly be the end of Walt Disney's involvement. But as it stands, this is a great one. And it's no wonder that this movie brought the studio back from the brink, because it is basically Snow White but better. Where the dwarfs scenes completely inexplicable and just useless, here's the mice not only having maybe one funny shenanigan at the front of the movie, but it also elicits a response from the family because the mouse is found under the sister's cup, and then the stepmother punishes Cinderella for it. So it piles on and actually gives context to what's going on. So they also help fix her dress, which gets the kind of superfluous comedic scene of them collecting the materials for the dress. And then they get the key, completely not superfluous, and just adds more tension to the finale. It's just great. It's like we build up so slowly and quietly with the stealth with which they get the key, but then once the cat comes in, they all go at it, and they're just fucking at each other's throat. They're just like, go, get the key, get the cat, just stop the cat, get the key. And it's like, it's great. And the animation, as always, is beautiful. By this point, we've really solidified what a Disney movie looks and feels like, and they'll continue to deliver on that as we go on through the Silver Age, which I think maybe means I should probably wear the silver puffy vest that I got, because I do have one. Now it's more gray, but it's basically silver. Yeah, great movie, great characters, great fun, great songs as well. The songs are pretty good. For all intents and purposes, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo and A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes are classics for a reason. And of course, the mice singing Cinderella, Cinderella is always fun. That's another motif that gets used a lot. Whenever the mice are on screen, they da 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 da. It's like it's representative of both the mice and Cinderella, but also how the mice feel about Cinderella in a way. It's like, we gotta save her, so yeah. It's great. I love it. Love it. It's beautiful. The animation's gorgeous. I didn't talk about it a lot while it was happening because I was so enraptured by the movie that was in front of me. But I did highlight a few of my favorite comedic bits. Mostly the cat. The cat just got some great acting going on. Just he's so funny. Funny little cat. Love that cat. So until next time, thank you all so much for joining me. If you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Good night, everybody!